Hi everyone, welcome to week 6 of distance learning. We are diving into part 2 of our final unit, and that is on the Reformation. So we're going to start talking about the Reformation. We'll talk about the beginning of the Reformation in this first video, and then the spread of the Reformation in the second video. You will then have an assignment to complete with each video. So we're going to dive right in, starting off tonight with talking about the beginning of the Reformation. So the Reformation all started because of a man named Martin Luther. Martin Luther was born in Germany. He became a monk and a teacher. So he was a Catholic. At the time, all Christians in Europe, for the most part, were Catholic, what we know today to be Roman Catholic Church. So he became a monk and a teacher. He believed, however, that faith alone was the key to salvation. The important thing to know about Martin Luther is that he did not want to lead a religious revolution, but what did he do? He led a religious revolution. So at this time, the Catholic Church sold something known as indulgences. An indulgence was a pardon from the church that released a sinner from the penalty for the sin. So you could, for example, steal something and then pay money, and the church would say you are pardoned, you are forgiven, and you will not have to pay a penalty for committing the sin of stealing. So in 1517, there was a man named Johann Tetzel. He was a friar, and he was selling indulgences with the impression that it would help get people into heaven. Oh, you buy some of these pieces of paper, any bad deeds you have done will be erased, and you will be able to gain entrance into heaven, he said. Well, Martin Luther was not so much a fan of Tetzel's, and he wrote his 95 Theses, which was a list of 95 attacks against the church and against these pardon merchants, and posted them on the church door. Those actions began the Reformation, which became a movement for religious reform, and it led to the founding of Christian churches that did not accept the authority of the Pope. So what did he teach? What were Luther's ideas that made him so popular? Well, one, he said that people could win salvation only by faith. So if you believed in God, you could be saved. Two, he said that all church teachings should be clearly based on the words of the Bible and the Bible alone, that it should not be up to another person to interpret the Bible, that the Bible and people's actions should be based solely on what the Bible said. And third, he said that all people of faith were equal. Priests were not needed, Luther said, to interpret the Bible. A regular person could open up the Bible, read it, interpret it, and connect to God without needing a priest to help them. So as Luther began to teach about these things, his ideas spread very quickly. And the Catholic Church was not too thrilled with that. And the Pope excommunicated Luther. He kicked him out of the church. Then Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor at the time, declared him to be both an outlaw and a heretic. While in hiding, Luther then translated the New Testament into German. So he went into hiding. This is actually a picture here of where he went into hiding, the building. You can visit it today. It is a museum now, or part of a museum now. While he was there, he translated the New Testament into German, which was the language of the people. So he took it from Latin to German. By 1522, Luther and his followers had become a separate religious group. So in just 5 years, there had been this complete split from the Catholic Church. They became a separate religious group known as Lutherans. Luther's ideas played out differently in society than he thought that they would. People began to apply his ideas to society, and peasants began to demand an end to serfdom, and they revolted. They believed that if everyone could be equal in the eyes of God, then there didn't need to be anything left of this social hierarchy anymore. This revolt absolutely horrified Luther. It was not what he wanted people to do. It is not what he expected people to think of his ideas. After that revolt, many people also rejected Luther's religious leadership. It hurt his religious leadership a bit as well. The northern German princes all supported Lutheranism. So when Martin Luther began to preach and began to amass this following to his new separate religious group known as Lutheranism, the northern German princes supported him. And all of those princes who supported Luther signed an agreement known as a protest. They signed a protest against the Catholic Church. And those protesting princes became known as Protestants. Protestants. Today, a Protestant is any Christian, all Christians who belong to non-Catholic churches. So if you are a Christian, but you are not Catholic, you are likely Protestant. And that is how the Reformation began, with the actions of Martin Luther and these princes who signed this protest, creating the term Protestant. And in the next video, we will join into the Reformation spreads and look at how it was spread and who helped to spread it.